Hey guys, it's Subkino here. This is the third video from my introduction series or the lecture series to the newcomers and beginners to the game, to help you understand the mechanics and the logic and the fundamentals of the game so you can fit into the community really quickly. Today I will be talking about weapon archetypes and how to mod each archetype of weapon. So I'm gonna be talking about assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, shotguns, and sniper rifles. Which is the best weapon in each weapon archetype, and how to mod each weapon archetype. Before I start with each weapon archetype, there are some basic rules you need to know in the division. Number one, that the base damage differs. The base damage on any gun has a range. The sausage, for example, with my current firearms ranges from 108 to around 140. So you need to farm for any weapon type with the upper end or the upper edge in according to its base damage. Number two, the slower the RPM the weapon has, the higher base damage it has, and vice versa. If you found a weapon with very fast RPM or rate of fire, which actually affects how quickly you can take down an agent and how quickly the bullets come out of your gun, the higher that number, the lower the base damage. It's a sort of a principle that the developers use to try to balance all the guns. So it actually works a little bit. So you can find some guns with very low RPM and very high base damage, and there are some other weapons with very high RPM and low base damage. What you need to do is to find the weapon that's just in between, decent RPM and decent weapon damage. When it comes to SMGs, there are three beasts for SMGs. Three SMGs in the whole game are very good. You have the Oak, Enhanced Oak or the Oak Para XX, they are all the same. You have the Oak, followed by the MP5, followed by the MP7. So, number one, in my opinion, is the Oak. Some people prefer the Navy MP5 or the MP5 family of the SMGs. That's fine. So, number one for me is the Oak, number two is the MP5 ST, and number three is the MP7. Okay? So, let me tell you some facts about SMGs. If you want to play with SMGs, you have to play around critical hit chance and critical hit damage. What are critical hit chance and what are critical hit damage? You see, when I shoot in the dummy here, some orange are in number. Some numbers are in orange like this. The orange numbers demonstrate the critical hits. The critical hits, you need to have two things to be able to crit successfully, efficiently. You need to have crit hit chance and crit hit damage. Crit hit chance and crit hit damage. Crit hit chance is the percentage of how many orange numbers you will get. For example, to simplify stuff, my crit hit chance is 30%, which means every 10 bullets I shoot, 3 shots will be critical hits. So if you want to play with SMGs, you have to play around critical hit chance and critical hit damage. What is critical hit damage? Critical hit damage is actually the value of the orange number. To be able to take down an agent, you need your critical hit damage to be 115 and above. When I mod my weapon, you're gonna see the values of the critical hit damage when I tell you how to mod your SMGs. Okay? So, if you want to play with SMGs, critical hit chance and critical hit damage. What is the main feature of SMGs? The main feature of SMGs is that they come with native critical hit chance rolled in them. Like, if you see on the right here, it says Submachine Gun 22.5% critical hit chance. So Any SMG has a basic value of critical hit chance. 23% is the highest, and 19 or 18 is the lowest. So that's the basic, like the features that comes with submachine guns. Critical hit chance. The maximum crit hit chance you can reach with the Savage gloves. Watch my high-end video if you want to know what are Savage gloves. And the weapon mods, and the talents, and the pulse is 60%. You cannot have more than 60% critical hit chance. Your maximum is 60%. So when you mod your gun, you need to mod it towards crit hit damage. The mods that have critical hit damage are the Pro Red Dot Sight. It always rolls with critical hit damage. The Loud Vent Break. It always rolls with critical hit damage. And in the magazine, you're gonna need a magazine with max size, critical hit damage, and rate of fire. And in the underbarrel, you're gonna use a small clip with critical hit damage. Okay? So that's how to mod an SMG. Critical hit damage for the Pro Red Dot Sight, critical hit damage on the small clip, critical hit damage and critical hit chance on the Loud Vent Break, and also critical hit chance. Like the optimal mod for the SMG is crit hit damage, crit chance, headshot damage, crit hit damage, hotshot damage, crit hit chance. You need to have all three. Crit hit damage, accuracy, stability, magazine size, crit hit damage, rate of fire. So always mod your SMG towards crit hit damage. You will have enough crit. How to have enough crit hit chance? How to be like, you can say, okay, I have decent crit hit chance. The first thing you need to do is you need to use Savage gloves. Savage gloves. Critical hit chance is increased by 7% against targets out of cover. And you're gonna need, I will not speak about the talents now. I will speak about the talents in a separate video because it's quite a broad topic, so I will speak about it in a separate video. So you have 7% from Savage and you have 22.5 implemented in the gun itself, and you're gonna have around 7.5% or 5% from the weapon mods, and you're gonna have additional from 3 to 4% on the mask. That's how to get crit chance, plus the pulse. Remember, the pulse gives you critical hit chance when you use it, 15%. So when you use SMGs, what you need to do is hit your pulse and start shooting and try to land as much critical hits as you can. That's how to play with SMGs. You have to build your build around critical hit chance and critical hit damage. Moving on to the assault rifles. As what I did with SMGs, I'm gonna write on the left the best assault rifles in my opinion, descendingly from the best to the worst. When it comes to assault rifles, you need to take, like, the best assault rifles in my opinion are the M4 family. The M4 family has 3 guns: the lightweight M4, the police M4, and the LVOIC. These 3 are called the M4 family. The M4 family is number 1. If you want to play with assault rifles, you need one of these 3. Number 2, which is actually not bad, it has a better recoil. You're gonna need a G36. Number 3 is the AK-47, but I don't recommend it. So number 1 is the M4, number 2 is the G36, number 3 is the AK-47. Let's talk about the M4 family for 1 second. I said the M4 family has the lightweight M4 and the LVOIC and the police M4. What is the difference between the lightweight M4, the LVOIC and the police M4? When it comes to rate of fire and damage, they are exactly the same. But the difference is the recoil pattern. The lightweight M4, for example, if I use it right here, the lightweight M4 has an upward controllable recoil. I'm controlling the recoil here. If I don't control the recoil with my right stick, look at the recoil. It goes up. That's the recoil of the lightweight M4. What is the recoil of the LVOIC? The LVOIC also has an upward recoil, but it's much faster. The Police M4, I don't have a Police M4, it has a very bad recoil. It goes left and right and upward, so it's very hard to control. So when it comes to M4s, go for a lightweight M4. If you cannot find a lightweight M4, go for a low VAC. If you cannot find a low VAC, go for a G36. If you cannot find a G36, go for a Police M4. Okay, how to mod your assault rifles? It actually, when it comes to assault rifles, it depends on your play style. Do you aim for the head or for the body? If you aim for the head, mod it towards headshot damage, like this one. I have the headshot damage mods are the VX1 scope. It has headshot damage, crit chance, and crit damage. And then the Omega Rifle Suppressor, it has headshot damage, crit chance, and crit damage. And the underbarrel go with crit hit damage. And on the magazine, you're gonna need crit hit chance. Why do you need crit hit chance, not crit hit damage on the assault rifles? Because the assault rifles don't come with a basic critical hit chance. So the critical hit chance on the assault rifles are quite low. So you need more crit chance when it comes to assault rifles. Okay, clear? So headshot damage, crit hit damage, crit hit chance. If your play style is towards body shots, what you have to do is you will keep the same magazine size, crit chance, rate of fire, and you will keep the same underbarrel. But what you are going to do is you're gonna change the Omega Rifle Suppressor that gives you headshot damage, crit chance, crit damage to a loud vertebrate with crit damage, headshot damage, crit chance, and to a rugged mini reflex with crit chance, headshot damage, and crit hit damage. That are the mods if you want to aim with an assault rifle towards the body. So you put crit chance, headshot damage, the crit hit damage on the optic, and you put crit damage, headshot damage, crit chance, and in the small grip you put crit damage, stability, accuracy, and on the mag you put magazine size, crit chance, and rate of fire. Okay, that's for the assault rifles. I told you how to mod it for headshots and how to mod it for body shots. What is the basic perk that comes with assault rifles? It comes with enemy armor damage. It works in PvP and PvE. When you open your character sheet right here, you can see enemy armor damage is 19%. You're gonna have 19% enemy armor damage towards NPCs, and the armor on NPCs are these small squares above their heads. That's the armor. So you're gonna have 19% extra damage to take down that small square. For PvP it works. If you wanna exactly know how much damage but you do using enemy armor damage, multiply your enemy armor damage number by 0.3 or divide it by 3. That's the extra damage you will get. It's not that effective. Don't invest in it because armor numbers actually are very low. In 1.6 it's only 30%, so the damage will not be that significant. There is another way to do damage, as I will discuss in the weapon talent video in 2 days from now. The day after tomorrow I will post a video for weapon talents only. Alright, then let's go talk about shotguns. Shotguns actually are very good. I love shotguns. I'm a shotgun guy. What is the basic perk that comes with shotgun? It's called stagger. What is stagger? Stagger is when you shoot with your shotgun anyone. If you played Last Stand and you went to Last Stand and you found yourself your aim going up and down, left and right, and when someone is shooting with a shotgun, that's called a stagger. The maximum stagger you can get on a shotgun is 352. 352 is the maximum stagger you can get on a shotgun. The annoying stagger starts from 330. So if you have a shotgun, try to get a shotgun from 330 to 352 stagger. Alright? How to mod a shotgun? You need to mod it towards crit hit chance. In the underbarrel you put crit hit damage, accuracy, stability. On the magazine you put magazine size, crit chance, and rate of fire. And in the optic you put crit chance, headshot damage, and crit hit damage. Why? Because it doesn't come with a native crit hit chance, and you want as much critical hits as you can. That's for the shotguns. When it comes to shotguns, there is only two viable shotguns, but there's one at the top. The king is a sausage right now, followed by the Super 90, then any other shotgun type. But the top two are the sausage and the Super 90, and the sausage actually is the best. The sausage is the best one. Followed by LMGs. Let's go to LMGs. LMGs, in my opinion, there are only two viable LMGs in this game. The custom L86, the one I have right now, and the classic RPK. I'm not talking about exotic weapons. I'm also making another video about exotic weapons. I'm only talking about basic weapon types. When it comes to exotic weapons, it's a different story. What is a basic perk that comes with LMGs? Damage to target out of cover. The name actually explains itself. You're gonna do more damage to targets out of cover. Are LMGs viable? No, they are not viable at all. Don't try to build your build around LMGs, especially if you are a beginner or a newcomer to the game. You will not be able to handle LMGs and do decent damage with them. LMGs are quite hard to use, not for the recoil, but because almost most of the LMGs have very slow rate of fire. Okay, when you mod LMGs, you're gonna mod it towards headshot damage. Same like the assault rifle, because the LMGs have the highest headshot damage multiplier to the game. And what I mean by the headshot damage multiplier is when you open your, like for example, I'm not putting any mod in my gun, and you're gonna see that I have 112. It's actually 100. The 12% is from a talent brutal, but headshot damage on LMGs without modding anything is 100. The extra 12% I have here are from a talent called Brutal. I will discuss it in a separate video. Actually, the basic headshot damage multiplier on LMGs is 100%. It has the highest headshot damage multiplier after the snipers, of course. So when you want to play with LMGs, go for the head. So you have to aim it for headshot damage, and here are the mods for headshot damage. VX1 scope, headshot damage, crit chance, crit damage. Don't think that this scope looks like a sniper scope, so I will only use it with snipers. No, use it everywhere. Use it with snipers, and use it with assault rifles, and use it with LMGs. Use it with assault rifles if you play for the head. In the underbarrel, critical hit damage. In the muzzle, also headshot damage. And on the magazine size and rate of fire. That's for LMG. The last weapon archetype is the snipers. There are two types of sniper in the game: semi-automatic snipers and bolt-action sniper rifles. When it comes to semi-automatic snipers, the SVD is the best option. And of course, the basic perk that comes with any sniper is an insane amount of headshot damage. 158 basic headshot damage. That's insane. It can go up to 171. The highest number I have seen was 171. So when it comes to snipers, modded for headshot damage, headshot damage, headshot damage. You know, the VX1 scope and created damage, accuracy, stability, and Omega rifle suppressor, and magazine size, crit chance, and rate of fire. The only magazine that has great hit damage is when you use a magazine with an SMG. So the semi-automatic snipers, the best one is the SVD. When it comes to, I don't know if I have one with me right here. No. Do I have one? No, I don't have one with me right here. It's in the stash. When it comes to bolt action sniper rifles, you need to aim for two sniper rifles. The M700 carbon, only the carbon archetype. Don't go for M700 tactical. The M700 carbon and the custom M44. And also mod them towards headshot damage. Now, the burst fire weapons. There are two types of burst fire weapons. There is the burst fire MP5A4, and there is classic FAL and the tactical SA. The classic FAL and the tactical SA are assault rifles, and they have very slow RPM but very high base damage. It's a burst fire. It's not that viable. Like, see, that's how it should. 3 bullets, it stops. 3 bullets, it stops. The burst fire MP5 is actually the same. They are viable. The burst fire MP5 is viable, but the FAL is not that viable. When you mod them the same way as you mod the burst fire MP5 towards headshot damage, critical hit damage, and the FAL modded towards body shots or headshots depending on your playstyle. Alright. Pistols 93R is the best sidearm in the game because it shoots very quickly, followed by the first wave X45, followed by the tactical M1911. All the other pistols are actually shit and they are useless. And the double barrel sawed-off is not bad. Before I end the video, there is one thing you guys need to know. The headshot damage multiplier of each weapon archetype. Number 1 is the sniper rifles. I will post them on the left, descendingly from the strongest to the lowest. Number 1 is the sniper rifles, followed by the LMGs, followed by shotguns, followed by assault rifles, followed by SMGs. And by headshot damage multiplier is the basic headshot damage you get on that weapon without applying any mods or talents. Okay? That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I hope that was helpful and informative, and now you know what weapon types you are looking for. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any feedbacks, the comment section is down below. If you found that video to be informative and helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. And if you need any other topic that you want me to cover, just text it in the comment section and I will gladly do it. And welcome to the Division. See ya in DZ.